This is Boxing Tickets, and we are delighted to be joined once again, first time this year, Kieran. Delighted to be joined once
Is it?
again by the main man in Galway, Kieran Molloy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good now. All good. First time this year. I thought we'd done one earlier in the year. No.
I think we done one. What was it, the day before your last fight in America? We haven't done one this year
Yeah.
yet.
Okay. October time. Yeah. Geez, you miss
Long
me.
time. Long time. Obviously, I've seen you in the TV last week. You're obviously gym mates with obviously Frazer Clarke. Obviously, he's in a war with Fabio Wardley. Probably that got your pulses sort of moving for your fight now in 8 days' time in Rotherham.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable fight. O2 was packed. I think 15 or 16,000 in there. Great fight for Fraser. Both lads put in a great performance. Yeah, definitely got me excited for next week.
I guess in some ways, probably you'd probably tell me you don't sort of. I guess nobody really wants to be in war, sort of like that. But obviously, it leaves that sort of memory for people. But it's probably not good for boxers. Like I think they say when you're involved in wars like that, it takes time off your boxing career, sort of. But like I guess in some ways, where initially the fight sort of wasn't made for the purse bid, and then it was made, like we were treated to an absolute classic.
Yeah, it was. It was great. Like obviously, you don't want to be in too many of those fights going forward in your career, but at the end of the day, like stuff like that doesn't really kick in when you're in the ring. If it's time to go to war, then you don't know anything else. You just stand and trade. Especially with heavyweights, their fitness and their timing and stuff is a lot different than the smaller lads. So no, they both showed great heart. I'm just glad that Fraser put in that performance because I feel he gets an awful lot of stick, off the I suppose the British boxing fans, but I think he's earned their respects now after that one, and Wardley is his tough boots as well. So I think it will make for an unreal rematch. But yeah, I don't know if I want to see it straight away. I'd nearly give it a maybe 6 or 8 months and then run it back. But we'll see how it goes.
I think they're saying potentially the rematch would be on pay-per-view, and like as you well know in boxing, sometimes if you run it immediately straight back, you can lose an interest. Whereas both go away, get a win against someone else, and then go back and do it again, they're going to make more money out of it.
Yeah, even like if they get another fight or two against someone else, even if they win, lose, or draw, it's a fight that's always going to be there and that people want to watch again. Financially, it's going to be good anyway, especially if it does a pay-per-view. But I think both lads deserve it as well after the show they put on for everyone. There wasn't one person going back like disappointed after, I would say, out of the boxing fans. Obviously, us as a team, we knew how much Fraser wanted to win, and he was disappointed he didn't get to win. But no, he showed everything else in there. So yeah, he's going to have a huge future going forward.
Obviously, a crazy stat that sort of I know it's coming up now a year since obviously your homecoming in Galway. I was in Galway last month and couldn't find you. Thomas was told obviously headline in Galway without yourself, and it's coming up a year now since obviously your homecoming in Galway, and it's crazy to think it's since Galway. So you're pretty much coming up a year since then. You've only been in the ring for 5 minutes since.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, two first round stoppages. So look, I've been doing a lot of training, a lot of rounds and stuff and sparring like that with the lads over here. So um, yeah, I know I missed out on I suppose fight rounds, but I've definitely made up for it in training camps back to back. Just looking forward to getting the ball rolling again now.
I guess in some ways, it's that old saying. It's sort of there's no point sort of doing rounds. Like people will remember you more from not highlight reel knockouts. Obviously, your knockout in the field last year. I still play it once a week. Sort of, it was sort of one of them knockouts that people always always remember as well. Um, Obviously since then, obviously you had your fight in America, and I guess when you probably look back, you're going maybe I wanted a few more rounds, but like it's the best probably compliment to yourself that sort of fights aren't going the distance. It's sort of showing the power you have that people just can't stay there with you.
Yeah, I suppose. Look, it's like that's what we train to do. Like it's to take people out of there if we get the opportunity. Rounds are important, especially for like not every fight's going to be a knockout win. But at this stage of my career and opponents that I was in against, I should have been knocking those guys out really. But now, like, it's time to step up now against good, durable opponents who are coming to win. Brings different things out for me as well. I want to show people this year, like, activity and yeah, just show more like of my boxing and that knockout power into later rounds as well.
I guess when you sort of look back at your 2 years, obviously so far as a pro, it's a cancelled fights that sort of maybe annoy you more than anything because you've had 7 fights in just over 2 years. Is that the next stage for you now? It's not that you want to make up for it, but have more activity. I think you'd maybe said to me in a message you maybe want to fight 6 times this 12 months.
Yeah, definitely 5 anyways. Yeah, I just want to get out. But obviously, like, I'm coming to that age now as well. I'm 25, so I'll probably have one 8 rounder and then go into 10 rounders then. So probably fight for a title then on the second or third fight. This year is about chasing titles. I want to establish myself into the sort of European and world stage. I'd love to fight for that European title sometime next year, maybe if it's about somewhere. And yeah, look, just keep on growing up the ladder and get in with that mix of the big boys.
Obviously, things have changed for you, obviously, as well. Obviously, you're now with GBM. I'm trying to think of making sure I say it right with small abbreviations of words. You can say
Yeah,
GM. Is it GMB or GBM?
it's GBM.
I'm confusing myself now. You've obviously signed, and obviously it's not only yourself that's signed with them. Obviously, your good friend Kieran Bradley's signed as well, and he's fighting the same card. Obviously, it probably came as some people to a shock that sort of your previous relationship sort of finished. But is it for you? It's sort of chapter sort of closed, sort of looking to the future, and probably a new brand that's sort of come through in boxing. It seems to be labelled that GBM are probably going to be the ones to take over from Boxer and on Sky Sports next year, although it's all rumour mill. But they seem to be the up and coming sort of ones in the UK boxing scene.
Yeah, they are very passionate about what they do. Very easy people to deal with. Exciting plans ahead. They've got a lot of shows going. I think one show a month they're running over in the UK. They're going to come to Ireland. We're going to have a fight in Galway again in the summer. But yeah, I can see them growing very fast. The right backing behind them. Great team around them. Great social team. Marketing is very good. They've got good sponsors on board. Izzy's very passionate. He's been an ex-professional fighter himself, so he gets that side of things. LCS is there as a matchmaker. You've got talksport involved now with their streaming, and it won't be long before they get their TV deal. I know they're in talks with a couple of TVs at their TV channels at the moment, so it's exciting. I think I got in with them at the perfect time because I think they're going to go to the top.
And obviously Adam Smith, obviously formerly from Sky, is involved with them now as well. And it seems to be obviously reading from a fan sort of thing. It seems to be it's gearing them up for that next stage. Adam Smith's career, obviously in Sky Sports, is obviously well known and how he obviously, passionate boxing fan and obviously brought it on leaps and bounds. So Adam Smith's been involved in that setup as well. Is going to do wonders.
Yeah, definitely. He's a very iconic voice in boxing. Everybody knows Adam Smith's voice. He knows the game inside out, and I think he's excited for it as well because GBM they've got a good few prospects now, and they're continuing to sign good up and coming fighters. It's not always about all the lads who are already at the top of their game. I think it's a promotion that you can follow the success and follow the journey of these up and coming fighters, and hopefully they can produce a couple of world champions in the next few years.
Obviously on yourself, obviously after no fights since October, it would have probably easier to probably maybe go back down to a 6 rounder. You're obviously fighting over 8 rounds next week, and even to make matters even tastier, you have a Mexican as well, Sergio. People can maybe mix up with a Sergio. Is it Sergio Garcia you spar with in the gym? People could mix that up.
Yeah,
yeah. You're fighting Sergio Garcia Herrera. He's always been beaten 4 times, but he's never been stopped. So hopefully maybe this is someone that's going to take you rounds now. But I'm sure if the finish comes, Kieran Molloy will be first in the queue to take it out.
Yeah, for sure. No, look, he's tough. This guy, you know, he's a whenever you see Mexican, you know you're in for a tough night probably. So, look, I'm well prepared. I have been sparring the other Sergio Garcia, so I don't think he's going to bring anything that he does that he can't bring to me in sparring. But no, look, I'm just looking forward to it now. Good test. That's what I wanted. You know, guys coming to fight, guys coming to win. We know what the Mexicans are like. So yeah, I've got to be switched on. But everything's going well. You know, it's been a tough training camp. Uh, but definitely prepared and just excited now.
Obviously, when you have a Mexican opponent that comes forward, obviously that's music to your ears because obviously you don't have to go hunting people. You can set traps, and you're hoping that obviously when you give them a one of your big hooks or something like that, that they're not just going to wilt and fall down. But the power you have is obviously it's well documented. Obviously, you carry power in both hands, so like whenever you land flush, it could be an early night.
Yeah, look, if he walks out, I'll try to set him up into it. But we'll see if I have to box or stick and move. I can do that as well. So some of these guys, you know, they've got chins of granite. So don't want to go break my hands. If I can avoid that, it'll be good. But yeah, I'm going to be showing something different now. I'm looking forward to it.
Obviously, for anybody that's watching this back, apologies. The sort of signal was going out a bit there. It looked like you were doing a bit of lip reading. Your lips weren't actually
No,
moving with the signal. So, obviously, apologies. I guess it's these things when you do these interviews. Sometimes you can lose signal and things like that. So, you weren't doing the magic trick where you were speaking with your mouth closed. It's just a poor signal. Um, Kieran, is it probably fair to say that probably is it probably fair to say in some ways people are forgetting in some ways, obviously, about you in the Irish boxing mix? Obviously, all the talk at the moment seems to be on Lewis Crocker and Paddy Donovan, obviously, fighting. Is it probably this next 12 months crucial for you to get your name back in the mix? It's not that you're calling these people out, but when people are thinking of obviously the best welterweights in Ireland, it's fair to say probably over the last 12 months, Lewis and Paddy have probably deserved it. Probably, but not to say they deserved it, but people's talking to them two fighting, and obviously people's forgot that Kieran Molloy's there, and even Stephen McKenna. Obviously, you've been sparring with recently. People's forgot him being a welterweight as well. So, is the next 12 months for you to now to get your name in the lips again beside the likes of Lewis and beside Paddy?
yeah, of course. Look, like you said, they deserve to be talked about because they've been given the opportunities. They've taken them in both hands. They've both been winning, you know, lifting belts. That's what it should be about. Like, you know, the consistent fighters, you know, they're in decent fights and they're winning, looking good doing it. So it's good that the light is shining on them. Like, you know, they deserve it because I know how difficult this sport is to get that opportunity. Um, and like even the likes of Stevie McKenna now, I think I saw something with him and Joe Laws could be happening. Uh, I think Steve, but I'm not sure if he's kind of in between weights. But yeah, we got some great sparring as well. But yeah, for me, you know, for the next 12 months, definitely, you know, even the next 6 months, yeah, I think my name will be on people's thoughts when they're talking about the best welterweights in the country again.
I guess when you keep knocking people out, and obviously I know that you're obviously knocked out in the field last year. Obviously it riled Paddy Donovan up because obviously he went more rounds with the opponent. You let your actions sort of speak from what you can do in the ring without having to speak outside of the ring, and obviously that's where you want to be doing all your talking, isn't it?
Oh yeah, of course. At the end of the day, you know, you can do all the talking you like in the world, but it's about just whatever happens inside those ropes. You know, it's one punch can change anything. So, look, yeah, I suppose just let the hands do the talking.
In your sort of, I guess, in your opinion, sort of, it looks to be that Lewis and obviously Paddy are going to have one more fight each, and then they're going to fight each other potentially into this year in Belfast. From what you've seen of both fighters, and obviously so far, who would you sort of have the favoritism towards? Who would be the favorite for you at this stage?
Uh, I'm not too sure. To be honest with you, I don't know if they should run it just yet. I would let that brew for another 3, 4 fights. Um, I think maybe that's a matchroom thing. I think they could build something big in Limerick for Paddy maybe, and build something, keep on continuing to grow in Belfast because they're both talented lads, and you can generate big audiences in Ireland with it. I think just throwing them in against each other now, I don't think it shows much. I think it's kind of a winner stays on strategy, to be honest. Uh, but yeah, both lads are good. I suppose if you're going on last performances, obviously, Crocker would have looked the better, but in against the a blown up super lightweight, maybe. I thought it was a bit of a mismatch, but um, I suppose Paddy was saying he didn't get the training camp he would have liked to have got for his fight either, so maybe that's why he didn't look as good. But it's not a look, it's a good 50-50 fight. I just think personally they should probably let it brew for a while. But yeah, I'll definitely be watching if that happens anyways.
It's something that I would agree with as well. Obviously, we know that Katie Taylor's probably coming to the end of her career. So when you're looking, obviously, for matchroom for fighters in the south, Paddy fits that mold. Obviously, Lewis, it's obviously been confirmed today. Mick's coming back. So obviously Mick's still gonna be here in Belfast, but obviously Lewis would have been the general successor, say in Belfast. So they could have, if matchroom wanted to do shows in north and south, they still had an option both ways. So we're pushing the two of them together. Yes, it's going to give us a great fight. But where is there for the losing side, sort of, in the north, who is there from matching to go back with Katie retires in the south and vice versa? I agree with you that it's sort of let it build for a while, but I guess the problem is somebody could end up slipping up to somebody else.
Yeah, that's it. I suppose while they're both unbeaten now, while they're both fairly highly ranked now, maybe that's why they want to make it happen. But it would be great if they could get a big belt on the line, maybe. That would change things. They both got a big payday out of it, but it's hard to know where the loser goes from that. Will he get another opportunity to fight under matchroom? Will he be able to headline? I don't know. I think they're both young. Like obviously, Crocker's more experienced. But yeah, it's hard to know. Look, I'm not a boxing promoter. I don't know how they look at things, but yeah. But if I was looking at it, obviously as a boxer and as a boxing fan, I think it'd be better to let that simmer for a while. But
Would it be
we'll
one
see.
you?
I suppose with
Oh, go
sorry,
ahead. Go ahead.
just with the shows down south as well, you've got the likes of Thomas Carty and Emmett Brennan as well. I suppose it'd be good to see Matchroom come back there to Three Arena and keep on building shows there because Crocker is I think he will be very big, but I don't think he'll be able to pull a crowd in now in Dublin or anything like that. So I do think we need something in the south as well, like you said.
It, then too, obviously, depending obviously when you fight, would that be one you would like to be ringside to sort of watch? I guess when you're seeing two people in your same weight class, and obviously you maybe have eyes on the winner, or obviously down the line, that'd be one you probably want to be ringside to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I'd be great mates with Lewis as well, but I guess the fight game, isn't it? But it's yeah, I'd definitely be there ringside to watch it. I think it'll be a big fight. I just hope that there's a belt on the line for both lads, a big belt, because it'll be good to see the maybe a world title or even a European title come back to Ireland.
I think potentially by the way, and I know that obviously I'm going to put your interview out tonight. I think Lewis's fight's been announced tomorrow. I think the potential is obviously that Lewis and Paddy then be a final eliminator potentially or eliminator some sort for a world title. So
Oh,
obviously
really?
there's plenty there's going to be plenty on the line. Obviously one day obviously somebody you turn pro with. Obviously Kurt Walker obviously headlined his own show in the Ulster Hall. Obviously won his first title. Obviously a seventh round stoppage as well. So he's sort of learning now, obviously, to put these guys away rather than, I still remember his fight in Galway last year where he was like a matador with a bull chasing him around the ring for 8 rounds. I'm sure you're delighted for
Yeah.
Colt as well.
I was, yeah. I was speaking to him for probably an hour or two the day before, just on the phone. But he was telling me that he's been working a lot in his strength conditioning and he's power punching and stuff. And he said to me he's going to stop this lad tomorrow night. And I said, oh God, obviously I was excited to hear that because Kurt usually wouldn't be saying stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I knew after the first round the way he was kind of he was calmer. He wasn't like using his feet as much. He was kind of staying in the pocket, and he wasn't afraid to like step back as he usually does. The way he's just picking his shots, especially the body shots and stuff like that. I think he's going to be so hard to beat going forward. I don't think he's dropped a single round yet since he's went pro out of all of his 10 fights. I'd love to see him get the opportunity against is it Collins, the British
Nathaniel
champion?
Collins, yeah, with Frank Warren.
Yeah, if you could get him, or
Kobe Price.
I really do think Kurt beats them all. Yeah, yeah.
It's
He
one
does.
of them that, and I know what Kurt said afterwards, people look at his record and see 2 stoppages now and think he's not really a puncher, but once they get in the ring with him and see him and he's planting his feet and he's going for it, he'll soon shock him.
Yeah, like look, he's not a power puncher, but he's very accurate. And accuracy, timing, and everything, it's just as good as power. If you place those punches right. That's boxing up those tiny gloves, 8-ounce gloves, and anyone can get chin. So no, I think that's going to give him confidence now going forward, knowing that he has that power to take away. That guy was a decent fighter as well. I know he's been 7 or 8 rounds with the likes of McCann and Price as well, who would probably be known as being, fairly big punchers. McCann maybe. So for Kurt to do it in the same sort of fashion was definitely a big statement, and to pick up the belt.
So obviously on yourself then, obviously in Rotherham next week. So get through Sergio Garcia Herrera. Make sure I put on that Herrera so that your teammate Sergio doesn't think it's him. And then obviously as a next step, then your next fight back in Galway, is or maybe going to one before then, or
we're looking at London in June time. GBM are going to be running a show in London, and then I'll probably go back to Galway late July, early August.
I'm sure they'll be excited, obviously, because we've seen your pulling power, obviously, in Galway. You sold pretty much 95% of the tickets. You probably sold 105% of the tickets that were allocated the last time. So, like, they don't even need anybody else on the card. It can just be you, because everybody's buying a ticket to come and watch Kieran Molloy.
Yeah, it's good. Look, it's very humbling, like the sport we have back home. I really want to keep on bringing it back there, keep on building, because they've been with me since day one. So it's important for me to bring big fight nights back to Galway. Keep working up towards bigger venues as well. But no, I'm excited for it. I think they are as well.
I'm excited for it too. Obviously, I've been to the last 2 Galway cards. Obviously, the first one that you obviously, brought people's ears to, sort of, they're going, the boxing in Galway. Thomas O'Toole obviously wasn't, it was a great night and everything else, but it wasn't a Kieran Molloy night. There wasn't obviously a completely packed to the rafters. People were having to stand the last time. There wasn't enough seats. Obviously, when Kieran Molloy's in town, we know that, it's the very best sort of is going to be there as well. You didn't have to pay me for that compliment either.
Probably a bit oversold when I fought there. Sorry?
You didn't have to pay me for that compliment either, too.
Yeah. No, I think I was probably a bit oversold the last time. But yeah, no, it was unbelievable. I remember just coming out and on my way up the stairs, you could hear the crowd going. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to living that over again. Maybe a bigger venue this time. We're in we're in talks with different places now in Galway to see where we can run it. But it was a good venue last time, at least it's there again the next time if we need it. But definitely be looking into bigger ones going forward.
Definitely. Anything that's bigger in Galway is obviously going to perk more eyes and ears, obviously, on it, obviously, because we know that people couldn't get the last time because it was sold out. But look, obviously, we'll leave it there. Obviously, we know you have a fight, obviously, now, and 7 days from now, you'll wait in. You'll be eating pizza. Will you have a pizza next Friday night, or will you get the next Saturday night?
Yeah, I'll have an Italian, either a pasta or a pizza. Yeah, so I can't wait for that.
We still have to get a pizza.
Yeah, I know.
We've planned it a couple of times, Galway and Belfast, and it's never happened in either. So you never know. We'll have a chance meeting somewhere, and we go, right, let's go for pizza.
Yeah, sometime, definitely.
you know. But look, obviously, go well, obviously, next Saturday, and obviously in Rotherham. And I'm sure we'll look forward to catching up with you very soon.
Cool, man. Thanks very much. Appreciate
Cheers,
it.
Kieran. Take care. Thanks.
Yeah,
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
thank you.